After a much better second map, Davenport University has brought us to the decider. Nuke will be the next map to be played, and this will determine who moves on to the grand finals. Now, historically, Roy, at least in this tournament, Davenport has not dropped a single time Nuke, so I wouldn't expect this to be any different, but they do have a BHOP esports that's eager to actually clutch things out of the momentum that they have constantly been able to gather. You saw them with 2 win streaks last map. Will they be able to clutch this one out?
Will they indeed? That is the question, as we are heading straight into our third and final map for this series, the final map for the night as well. It is gonna be Nuke, and even though you mentioned that, they've yet to lose it, there is also a very interesting fact, and this is I believe you said Davenport have yet to lose on Nuke, but on the bit of stats that I found, the one time both of these teams have faced off against one another, it was actually a best of one, and it was exactly on Nuke, and it went 13 rounds for Davenport to 16 from BHOP. So they do have the upper hand in that regard. So it is going to be very important for them to try and repeat that success last time around as well. If I am not mistaken, Davenport started on the T side as well. So crucial for them to repeat success. Now it is BHOP who are starting on the offense and looking to establish momentum early on, especially with those dualies. So much damage that Pug was able to deal before finally falling, and that is just the same type of plays that Davenport has gotten us used to. And it's just the aggressiveness. They come out of the gate swinging. Beaky, of course, still has dualies and was looking to repeat the success that Davenport brought to the table, but it was not meant to be this time around, as that first round, the opening pistol round here for Nuke, gonna go the way of Davenport. And after the way that they managed to dominate BHOP in DOS 2, I think it is a very good call. I mean, they've yet to lose Nuke in this tournament for a reason. I think they've been working on that. And they're showing us exactly why. At the very least, for the start, of course, there is much story to be written here.
Oh, and now that's an immediate crossfire. The Davenport is going to win big time. What a fast round for Davenport University, taking all 5 of them down in a matter of 3 seconds flat, maybe 4 tops. But this is the kind of start that you really want to see if you're a Davenport University fan, as they are now arming themselves to the teeth once again. Number of A1Ss. And of course, on the other side, BHOP full of AKs, but you don't see that much util on their side, only a number of smokes. And we have already talked about how important it is to keep your smokes all the way to the very end, but given the fact that you have so little util to play around with, you definitely want to make the most out of the other util first. In this case, Aris and Viki already used their side util, if you want to call it that. And they're forcing Davenport University to move forward where that util was set up. Pug is the first one to go down as well. Pug, by the way, 7 kills in 2 rounds. That's an amazing number to have. Unfortunately, Davenport does lose their biggest kill-powered player. And it seems that BHOP is going to attempt a push for B, as they are now approaching that ramp. And that is indeed the push. The only one taking care of this spot is Spec. He is only going to find Swan before going down himself. So BHOP actually has free entryway to plant if they still want to, but they want the intel first. Brett is now going to go in and plant the bomb. They know where they're coming from now, though. Silas ends up falling as he was trying to prevent an ambush. But Davenport brings this back to even. They now have to take their sights very carefully. And of course, move in for the defuse, but it's looking quite complicated. As BHOP is going to take care of these flanks. Oh man! Back to even though. Nobody's moving in for the defuse.
Nobody's moving just yet, but look at that. Switcher has the angle covered. He will get shut down by Brett, though. Kojo gets the trade, and in the end, BHOP managed to avoid the defuse. Oh, things got a bit too close yet again. Reminding me a bit of their first encounter. Definitely, it was feeling very similarly so. Whenever we saw that first pick an ancient, they were back and forth, and Davenport actually the ones that for the most part kept it close. Whereas their own pick, they got the job done fairly, I don't want to say easily, but fairly quicker in that regard. Swan tasked with leading the charge right here. We only have Brett on the outside, the rest of them trying to make a case for the push. Get anything going, of course. It is not like it's uncovered. You can tell Kojo I'll be watching those angles. No up for him just yet, but still could be at a very deadly distance. Brett trying to make the cross. A couple of players fall on the side of Davenport. Not the third one just yet, though. Okay, never mind.
Galil users are the only ones remaining for BHOP as they're trying to find people entering through the high ground. Brett and Beak are gonna leave their front through the smoke. They will find Kojo, and Spec is the only one left. Thankfully for Spec, no bomb has been set up just yet. The A1S won't quite do it against the Galils, and so Swan will pick things up with his EK back to even here. 2v2. Kind of what we were used to by now with these two teams, right? A lot of rounds being traded. Granted, somehow, both maps have ended up with the same score so far. And I think if we go by that rule, we already know that whoever gets to 10 rounds first better get that 11th, or else they will become... they will end up losing that advantage. Now we see the frags being thrown, only Kojo going down, and Eris does find someone peeking there. He's now waiting to see if Spec is going to pop up again, but Spec and Switcher know that this entryway will be a death zone for one of the two teams. It seems to be so for Davenport, as they are left with only 2 team members and no firepower pretty much whatsoever. As Book goes down, he only had the USPS, and there we go. Another round for BHOP Esports after all that. Almost looking like a semi buy for Davenport again for this round, but no, they're actually going for a full buy.
Are gonna go full this time around. Well, the bar and the util, of course, whereas on the other side, BHOP stacked to the teeth. Armed fully is for them. Let's not forget, though, those little differences can come in, well, apparently little differences can come in very handy later on. Especially once things start to get a bit out of control. Switcher gonna get pushed out of that, so definitely not what BHOP were looking for. Both Brett and Swan are now down. Not even in spite of their best efforts. They're gonna have to rally back. Try to make their way through a slightly different route that they might have expected to. Look at that pug. Like always in prime position to get into damage. Cause some ruckus, and of course they're covered, and they're gonna try push. Some shots come in. Not enough to take care of anybody, though. And Air is gonna win that one. That was huge. However, both Ares and Beaky are on death's door currently. So even if the numbers are still evened out, huge problem on that. Flash comes through, but really nothing of that. Bomb will go down. Will the defense hold now? Well, the defense of this bomb site at the very least, as the T's have managed to get that plant.
T's looking quite strong so far as they take down Kojo again. Kojo being neutralized. I think they realize how big of a target he is. Now that you can really get to choose who you're facing up against, right? You really have to be on your toes with the reflexes. Speaking of which, they recognize that there isn't much else to do here. They do take down Switcher, though. That's Silas's kill. Second kill for him in this map. So again, there's a number of team players that are being left behind. In this case, Switcher, Kojo, and Korin for Davenport University with only 2. Pug and Spec really being the ones who carry the entirety of their kill power so far. And for BHOP Esports, the only one falling behind is Silas, but everybody else 4 and up on kills. Again, more evenly distributed. I think that's why BHOP is so dangerous as well. They distribute their kill power quite well. It's not that there's one person who claims most of it. Ares is only 3 away from the remainder of his teammates. And Davenport really does rely on Pug and Spec. If either one of them goes down, things start looking grim. If both of them go down, then things look pretty much impossible. But again, that's only the very beginning of it. We're in round number 7. Still have quite a long way to go. They could pick up the pace. Speaking of which, they're trying to force a showdown on the outside. We have talked about these constantly, but it seems that the util is pretty much stopping any attempt at a push. And yeah, BHOP seems to be taking no care in that. They're gonna move inside. But Korin is ready to defend. No, he ends up going down as he only gets some damage onto Ares.
Oh.
And so Brett takes care of Spec, and Kojo is down as well. Pug is the only one left with a USPS. What could you do, buddy? That's going to be the round. Great control from BHOP, who only lost to Brett in that round.
Yeah, just managing their losses right there, but still getting the best of the round overall, of course. Take a look, though. I think Davenport are ready to fight now. But if they get shut down once more, they're going to be kept in that same vicious cycle of being done in the dumps economically. And that could end up being their demise. Even though we've seen more often than not, both of these teams answer in the first half. The one that has been able to establish a lead early on, it's really the one that can climb the most, or by the end of the first half at the very least, really been able to take advantage of that and heavily capitalize on it, taking the entirety of the map, right, with just peeking through. BHOP not yet too pressed to go for anything. The smoke will come. So that cross should be a bit more safe. However, Brad getting lit up immediately. Checking all his corners is Silas. The rest of BHOP Esports are going to cross and make their way through Garage. And Secret has now been successfully invaded. So it is B here for them. But Spec is ready and waiting. Oh. And this man has been a torn on BHOP's side time and time again.
2 HP on his side, though. Whatever you throw at him will pretty much do the job. He is going back up for ramp.
Yep.
As we see him now moving through his attack, he will find Brett, I think, to hurt him. Oh, he catches Brett first! I think that kill should count double, man. He is on 2 HP. How on earth do you manage to get that? That's just his skill right here. He's that skilled of a player. Speaking of which, the rest of his team are also trying to make an ambush here as they all move through ramp, but it's not easy to defeat this wall of util as Korin is taken down. And Silas can peek through the smoke as well. Find Switcher, they find Pug. Spec went down, Coach is down. BHOP Esports is now 6-2. They are starting out with a bang. And on T side, if they're playing T side like this, Roy, imagine when they switch sides.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was gonna start wondering about. Really, we've seen defense have the capability of bouncing back a bit more heavily. And I don't think things are looking too pretty if Davenport let this get out of hand. Only enough to work with, and really, well, it's not like Deagles are particularly safe for the enemy, however, like, really not the versatility that you get with a rifle, to be sure. And so we see very turtley side right here. Bug in charge, holding down the ramp and just trying to make anybody that tries to come through on the side of control just discourage any sort of aggression right there. On their side, BHOP, I think that they know they can take advantage some of this, so they are taking their sweet time so far, not being too hasty about it. But the time continues to tick, and this is exactly what Davenport could take advantage of if push comes to shove. Oh, Pug though, gotta fall to Aris. And every frag counts when you are this heavily outgunned. Every frag counts, however. Still making a couple of them count. Kojo holding on for dear life, but it is not gonna last. The Scorn. It is now the bastion of hope for Davenport, and I don't even know if that is exactly what it's gonna translate to, as Brett was looking vigilant and looking deadly as well.
Brett, one of those players who's really stepped things up. I would like to remind you guys that he started out with a 0-9 KD, I believe, in the first map, or 0-8, something like that.
Yep, something like that.
But he's looking like a completely different player now, getting the clutchest of kills in this round, 2 total, and earning his team the round with some great angles too. I mean, I would like to point out that sometimes he might be cornering himself a bit, but he has that extra sustain with the util. One of the smartest util setters in this team of BHOP. He even back then, he might not have gotten kills, but his util definitely made it change in the outcome of certain rounds. But now he has the aim on his side, and thus the score for BHOP is looking amazing so far. 5 rounds different, but it's usually when they get to like 5 rounds and such that the other team starts picking up the pace.
Yeah.
So Davenport might get something going here, and they start right there by taking down Brett. That's not what you want if you're Brett, but they do take down Spec as well. If there's an important team member to kill from the other side, it's definitely Spec. And Pug too. If Pug shows himself and he dies, then I think Davenport is in for a nightmare of a round, as Korn, Switcher, and Kojo have gotten some kills, but in general, they don't have the pristine response rate. We do see some an attempt at a push here at B, and Eris is going to clear the way. Gonna give the signal, gonna cover the doors as well. The bomb will be planted. So BHOP has managed to plant the bomb most rounds so far, even sometimes getting all 5 kills, but it seems that the bomb is their true tool to victory. Pug is taken down. What did I tell you, Roy? If they're both down, that's going to be a nightmare of a round, and the nightmare starts right here as Kojo and Korn are taken down. It's all down to Switcher, and I don't think he has what it takes. That's the 8th round in a row. Well, not in a row, but it's the 8th round for BHOP.
It is definitely that, and Davenport continue to be put in the blender constantly. I mean, they have a little bit more resources this time around, however, not out of the woods in that regard. Not fully, at the very least. Whereas the economy looking pretty healthy on the side of BHOP. So it's just a semi-buy here for Davenport. And looking straight through, that nade gonna do some damage. It's gonna help him out, however, not gonna avoid the fact that both Beaky and Silas got picked off immediately. Ares gonna even those odds out. Perhaps even put him a bit in their favor. As Kojo has suffered quite a bit of damage already. Oh, Switcher, though, absolutely massive right there. And this is exactly what Davenport needed before things got a bit too out of hand, of course. Brad, we've talked about him. How a huge asset he can be. But I don't know if there's anybody that can go big enough. Especially considering this, Brad. Try to aggress, gonna throw the molly, but yeah, he's gonna get caught. Oh, okay,
Whoa.
Never mind. Kojo gets turned around immediately. But in the end, those couple of kills were so huge on the side of Davenport. Like, helping them definitely to stop the bleeding, like, perhaps now they can start to amount to something more. Make a bit better use of this CT side. So far, it had been all BHOP, and that round, I don't think we can understate just how crucial it was. If Davenport really want to come back into this, but before talking about comebacks, let's talk about those snipes from Swan.
For sure, Swan equipped with the AWP takes down Spec, one of the key elements to take down, and I think that BHOP is more than willing now to bring things down to Pearl so as to stop Davenport's possible momentum shifts. We see Brett taking some damage, but holds on to life as well. And they're gonna try and force people to go outside. Does not seem to be the plan for Davenport to play in the open air, though, as they keep being inside the facility, with the exception of Switcher, who is covering the top side of Garage, well, the rooftop of Garage, trying to wait for somebody to go into Silo. I don't think that's the case now. He does find Silas, and now the peek is going to be successful from Beaky, and Aris took down Korn as well, so Kojo on his own. I don't think he's going to get that comeback. He whiffs through the smoke. Oh man, but Brett took so long to bring his weapon out after throwing his util that Kojo had the chance to bring it back. Swan is going to plant on A though, so they get that switcheroo onto Kojo, who is now on his own. Oh, Swan, you've been trying to find that shot through the metal, but I don't think Kojo really has an opening on any of them. He's stuck in ramp, waiting to see if he is ambushed from either side. The vents are still being taken care of, but gonna lead to nothing, it seems. You even see Beaky trying to get to him. He went through secret just now, and is rotating all the way back to CT. They're definitely a manhunt, but it's going to be the end of the round real soon, and Kojo would rather simply hide right here behind T-Red, and that's the round for Davenport University. Wait, did Kojo take someone else down?
I didn't get to see that exactly. However, still yet another very successful round here. So that is a way to do it for sure. If you are BHOP Esports, now 9, and I mean punching into the double digits before even the first half comes through, I think could be the death sentence that they're looking to lay onto Davenport. I mean, after fighting so hard and really being like so effective on Dust 2, sorry. Now hearing Nuke, it's all falling to bits and pieces, and well, BHOP are looking as strong as ever on Nuke. I mean, looking to repeat stat we mentioned a bit earlier, the fact that they've already managed to get a W out of Davenport University here, hearing Nuke.
It's very close. to a showdown happening outside as they're trying to lure Davenport out. BHOP, in the meantime, trying to go in through vending and trophy. They are going to move forward. Beaky with the bomb. Switcher taking some damage on the outside, on garage. Might have been caught. We see Koja taking care of the ramp as well. Brett is going to be taken down, and so's Aris. Unsuccessful push towards A from BHOP's Esports. That's going to end up with 3 team members being taken down, but somehow back to even as Swan and Beaky survive. It's now down to Swan, though, against Kojo. And Swan does not have the bomb, needs to pick it up pronto. Will he just go in for the plant? Kojo rotating, trying to get the bait and switch onto Swan. I think it works. He is back towards B. The bait definitely worked. Amazing work from Kojo.
Amazing work from Kojo, indeed. A bit of an up duel right there, and he will get the better of that. Davenport holding on for dear life. Kicking and punching their way through, or shooting perhaps I should say, because he was looking like a straight up brawl at some point. However, let's not forget, 5 rounds still separate these two, and that distance could still further itself a bit more. As we have a couple more rounds for BHOP to lay in the damage in this first half.
Speaking of damage, only Corrin and Brett taking a little bit. Brett has actually been a bit more of a cannon fodder player lately, but it seems that Switcher will be the first one to bite the dust. Silas might get a peek through Corrin. I think he saw Corrin moving, so Corrin is going to play it safe, set up the smoke. Oh, Spec taken down on high ground as well. And BHOP might be taking some sweet damage, but they have not lost a single player just yet. Corrin shooting through the smoke, finds nobody. We even see Ares is going to go down the vent, downstairs, but finds no one else now as he is moving through tunnels. And Corrin and Pug are bringing this down to a crawl once again. Kojo, all the way on locker, might see a showdown with Brett here real quick. Brett finds him. Kojo does not check his bag. Free kill for Brett as Silas went down as well, but BHOP will it's more than willing to take that trade as they take down Switcher. Corrin is the last remaining player, and Swan will simply move in with the plant. We don't even see Corrin that close to their area. He is downstairs and all, but he's simply going to peek, and that's the round. BHOP Esports gets to double digits before the side switch, and if they win this next one, it's red alert for Davenport. Granted, it's red alert now because you're not doing the best you can on CT, and we have consistently talked about how good their CT is. They're being completely shut off, and you talked to us, Roy, about how they lost a nuke against BHOP earlier this week. It seems that history is repeating itself.
It would seem so, even though it's been a while, but nonetheless, I think BHOP have not forgotten. I just want to point out a quick reaction on our side earlier on Swan. Super deadly, this man and Brett as well. Continuing to lay into her second one. Couple of legs right there, and, well, great aiming and nice big boot. Oh, the shots from Brett, not looking as pristine though. Still some damage being done, and Kojo trying to avoid disaster, but at that point it was too little too late. And so BHOP has 5 more to go here. Going into the second half, and now they get to play those positions a bit faster, so if Davenport are not able to get good use of their util early on, or if they go and lose the pistol round, I think that BHOP could just keep playing the same trade game and come out on top in the end, just to play in the war of attrition versus a very, very hurt Davenport University.
Yeah, Davenport really needs to take those sites pronto. But for this pistol round, it seems that it's going to be all shooting, and already one person down. Pug does not make a good push, attempting to go through fending. No, actually, he goes on roof. And still Kojo is down as well. When Kojo doesn't have his AWP, he suffers when he's trading blows. He usually loses that trade, and now Spec went down as well. Kojo's still the one with the most kills, though, even though he suffers when he is reloading and switching. He usually finds a way out of those exchanges, and here BHOP seems to be on full control, could even let the clock run, but we do see Davenport approaching slowly downstairs, and look at this peek from Biki. Couldn't be more pristine in his position, and now everybody knows where Switcher and Korn are. They're about to plant the bomb, but no chance to stop them. Switcher takes Brett down, and Ares is also out of there. Bomb has already been planted. BHOP needs to move fast, and Biki cannot just walk forward. He knows he's being covered. Korn is taken down, though, and Switcher goes as well. Biki. That's the round.
My God, Biki going huge at the end, and that indeed is going to be the round tune. Yet another one for BHOP, and I think this could be curtains here for Davenport, as they have put themselves in a similar position that they put BHOP over there in Dust 2, which is just so far ahead. And of course, it can amount to something, but in the end, more often than not, we've seen the ability of these teams. It's not really in the fact that they avoid the choke, but they know how to play their end game, and they're really not pushing the envelope a bit too far. So at the end of the day, it could be just the final nail in the coffin. As a couple more rounds come through, Davenport will make their way through the secret, but Silas is right there on the wait, causing some damage. Hits fast out of there. He is like, nope. Reposition himself, chooses a better angle, and the members of Davenport continue to falling like flies at that point, as it is Korn yet again. He's gonna be left all by his lonesome. Looking to put in some more damage, but it seems like the predictions are coming through. Ares from up above, Swanton bomb right there.
From downtown.
From downtown, you already know. And well, BHOP Esports are looking to make a quick map out of Nuke. If they continue with this same trend, they would be soaring in for those grand finals and looking for an opportunity to challenge Sojoga. However, I mean, is Davenport even able to do anything at this point? I mean, they've been kept in the blender for so long that it feels like they just built themselves in. They brought themselves into a corner, and they are trapped at this point.
Trapped indeed, as they are constantly losing some of their most important team members as well. Forced into an eco round, no firepower to speak of to fight off against Biki, who even does the switch to his own pistol, but I don't think that's gonna help him much. Still, it's only Switcher left, and BHOP Esports is one round away from making it at least a guaranteed time, even shooting each other by the end. At least they do want to at least get the guaranteed timeout. And they will also break that streak of 16-10 scores, it seems, because Davenport University has not woken up in quite some time. We thought that CT would have been great for them. They started playing CT, should have been a spot in which they got a big lead. But come T-side, they really have not been able to do much at all. I think they won one round. And that's about it. You see the usual consistently stopping them. And you talked about this, Roy, how easy it is for BHOP to access the high ground and all of these spots on the rooftops and such. Davenport has not utilized the util, redundancy included, to stop them on their tracks there, on their way there to those positions. So BHOP really has a completely free entry to those pristine angles and the pristine
damn.
positioning, and it results in a number of early kills. And I don't think there has been a single round in which Davenport University has played with an advantage in team members in T-side until now, but it lasts very little. It's only BK left, though. They finally managed to lure BHOP out into an outside showdown, and there they were able to get those very important kills. But now Corn and Spec are ready to push side to side. They set up the mollies. They're going to set up the bomb as well. Finally, it seems that Davenport University has awakened, and they're going to clean this round most likely, because BK, man, I don't think he is that well equipped to handle them both. He would really need to find them separated. And, oh, wait a minute. He might find Corn. Oh, but Corn found him first.
Corn definitely found him first, and after some saving, like, those were savings well spent on the side of Davenport University. Though, if you take a look to the other side, it definitely feels like BHOP are still not feeling too shabby at the moment. Only 2 more to go for them. And even though they are not fully powered up, definitely slacking in some regard. And when you're facing AKs, well, it's not going to be an easy task. However, okay, looking to make the cross. Spec, though, my God, what he's just made. Quick work. That is what they were looking for. Couple more. Trying to gain some momentum back is Davenport. As the kill feed was lit up once again, it moved up so fast. Just those 4 names. Bang, 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 bang. They went. BHOP still very firmly in the lead, though.
And a semi-bye it is for BHOP Esports. Looking more like an eco round, to be honest, as they only fed Swan with a true firepower weapon. We see Bright and Ares playing with their... Well, actually, no, we see everybody else playing with the Deagle. But they are really relying on Swan for this round if they want to clutch things out. Everyone on Davenport with their AKs ready to wreak havoc with a lot of util as well. Switcher helping around Silo, being very careful on his drop-downs as well. Good movement from him. And it seems that Davenport is still on their spawn side almost, as they are waiting to see if anybody took the bait and decided to go outside. Swan, again, the only one who is actually prepared with some true firepower, as Ares is taken down, and now Brett as well. They're gonna find Silas, and things are going south fast for BHOP Esports, as Swan will move to a different angle. Will he find anybody, though? He has not landed a single hit. BK with his Deagle is gonna end up falling, and that's the round. Davenport University now 7 rounds away. Man, Roy, these guys really love to at least give us hope that things might look even later on. No matter the score, no matter the round differential, you still see that breathing room, you still see that hope. And Davenport can still technically bring this one back, because the BHOP Esports has not found that 15th round that would secure the overtime.
I think it would take a huge couple of blunders on the side of BHOP, but they've yet to put the 15 on the mark. We did see Davenport earlier in Dust 2 struggle a bit to get some of that. Spec, no ace just yet for him.
Come on, give him the intel so he can get the ace.
And
give it to the boy.
Seems like he might just get it. He gets the right timing. They fit it to him, but it is gonna be Corn. It is gonna be Corn and Spec. Putting a team on his back, 21 kills to his name. And of course, I think at this point, BHOP are really just playing the end game. Okay, boys, we just have to focus up on this last couple of rounds. Oh man, does that ever look cool? Even of course, if you know that they are running into the slaughterhouse, nonetheless fun to you appreciate. You appreciate a good spray like that. Smoke being thrown once again. Position on hot here for Brett. So he's able to take safe passage to better position. And they're gonna come through once more. They're smoking out so far. Air is gonna take some heavy damage, but at the very least, he gets fragged first. Numbers dwindling here for Davenport. As Swan holds on for dear life. Beaky getting picked off by Kojo. Kojomo and that up is just such a deadly combination. We've seen him hit some crazy shots, some nice flicks as well. And he will be in charge. Him and Spec will be in charge of setting off, of making sure that that bomb sets off. But Silas, though, in a 1v1 now.
Well, Silas got the flank here. He takes on Kojo.
Yo!
He's going to move in for the defuse, and we're going to see BHOP finally get that 15 on their side. OT guaranteed at the very least, and they put themselves on series point. If they win this round, they win it all. They go to grand finals against Sojoga JJ. And I think it would be poetic justice to see the two teams that have gone undefeated meet in the grand finals. Granted, BHOP started on the playoffs, and this is only their third set in that phase, but they have still yet to lose. They have only given up a couple of maps so far, so it would be a grand finals between two undefeated teams in the series at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
Will the push happen, though? Davenport needs to play their heart out now. Swan taking cover on the high ground. With the AWP again, by the way, we see a couple of famous users as well. And Silas on the A1S. A lot of firepower here, Roy. I think BHOP is setting up for something huge.
Huge damage right there. Gonna come on through for Corn and Pug. Of course, it doesn't mean that they're gonna lose their lives just yet. It's just gonna make a bit of an easier job here for BHOP. Let's not forget, though, Silas also on death's door. Who's gonna knock on heaven's door first, though? Of course, Davenport have refused for a couple of rounds already to give up, but this is the first time that they're facing the pressure of the match point right here. And not only that, but their entire tournament life on the line. Swan bringing things closer. Corn Bug still alive, though. Only pre-lit up. Nice molly right there. Make sure that Swan is going to have to position himself. He gets the pick right there. The shots are so crucial, so deadly from this man. And just a couple more bullets could make all the difference. Kojo is starting this exchange, and he is going to end up losing that. Brett gets the best of him, and now BHOP have made their way into the grand final. Gonna face versus Sojoga. Huge props to Davenport, of course, for bringing us into yet another decider map, which this side of the bracket was plagued with, and it was an amazing thing to see. However, BHOP Esports will not be denied today, and they live one more night